I really appreciate you making time to connect on this. As I shared, it was an interesting kind of internal discussion that we were having just around content strategy in general. We're seeing a lot more of a focus on the idea of content mix, right? It's not only about your own stuff. It's not only about other people's stuff. It's not only about earned media. It's this blending to create a narrative. And we had a customer, well, now a customer, a prospect at the time, talking about like, oh, this is a good thing to do, when I don't have time or I don't have a platform yet to talk about this. And I was like, well, I would challenge that. Maybe it's more than just that. It's about sharing your platform with others and bringing others into the conversation. And so your name came to mind, right, as someone who I've obviously followed for a long time across all of your different mediums, social, obviously, but also your site and your now work at HubSpot. And I feel like you've always done it right, in terms of
if that's true, it's been almost by accident then. But
well, that's what's interesting, right? Because it doesn't feel forced either, right? So you obviously have your own thought leadership, and you're creating a lot of content, whether it's you plus pen, or you plus team plus pens and keyboards kind of coming together. But it feels like still, I'd say 60% maybe. I don't know if you have a number in mind. You're also, hey, this is an interesting study that someone else had done, or this person has a unique perspective on what's happening in the industry or what's happening with customer success. So it's interesting that you share just by accident, because I'd love to hear how you think about that, right? Like, as someone who probably could just, if you had unlimited time, write it all and everyone, or record it all, and everyone would be like, yeah, I'm going to read it. I'm going to trust it. I'll even source it. But that you instead choose to find what other people are doing and kind of showcase that versus just sourcing it in your own piece. Yeah. How do you think about content like that?
All right. So again, with the caveat, I don't know that I've consciously thought through this. So this is a little bit like sort of
Perfect.
In the back of my head of like, well, what is going through my head when I do this? To be honest, a lot of it for me, both what I write and what I share, starts with, I'm just trying to understand what the hell is going on in the world.
Awesome.
I mean,
Yeah.
this space that I love of the intersection of marketing and technology, it is just, there's so much changing all the time. And I even realize, for all the effort I put in trying to dig out what's happening, I'm always scraping just the tiniest fraction of it. But I enjoy it. I really enjoy learning what's going on here. And so it used to be, a lot of my research would be through that lens of okay, well, these are things I'm going to feed in and ultimately get into a post I write.
Right.
And I still do that.
Yep.
But the effort it takes me to write a post, I'm just a terribly slow writer. And so, yeah, I mean, seeing it's if I do a couple posts a month, probably about my speed at this point, but at the same time, it's every day I'm reading, 2 or 3 things. And so I've just sort of gotten in the habit of sharing it, partly, to, give credit where credit's due of people doing interesting things. But partly also is a bit of a trial balloon. The things I find interesting, it's useful to me when I share them to see, well, which things do other people find interesting? Which ones do they don't? I will say my ability to predict that is basically a coin flip at this point. Things I think people will love. Crickets. There's stuff that I share that was almost an afterthought. And all of a sudden, that's, the popular thing.